and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to talk about poems again. This is episode 2 of hashtag write poems with me, and I am so excited to start this new episode because the last episode was just some light-hearted conversation about poems, and I hope you've watched that video, and if not, I'm going to link it in the cards up there, here, wherever it appears, it's gonna be there. And I'm also gonna put the link in the description down below. Before we get into this video, I hope you click that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, click that bell button so you get notified every time I upload, because there will be more videos coming after this one. So now let's get into the video. Okay, so for today's episode we are going to talk about rhyme schemes. And rhyme schemes in poetry is important, or you can prefer not to use it. It's up to you if you want to use rhyme schemes. You're probably writing free verse if you don't use rhyme scheme, because I am currently looking at the Masterclass article. They're going to be my source for everything that I tell you guys. So here they say free verse poetry is poetry that lacks a consistent rhyme scheme, metrical pattern, or musical form. So that's a kind of we can say that that's free verse in a nutshell. Like, it's a short definition of free verse. But we are not going to do free verse today. We're not going to do free verse poetry today. We are going to write poems that has rhyme scheme. So I'm going to write 4 poems with 4 rhyme schemes. First is the ABAB rhyme scheme. Second is the ABCB rhyme scheme. The third one is the AABBA rhyme scheme, and the fourth one is the AABB rhyme scheme. So that's the introduction for the poems that I'm going to write, and we're gonna follow those rhyme schemes and write. We are gonna see how those rhyme schemes work. So first we have the ABAB rhyme scheme. So let's ask Masterclass what they think of the ABAB rhyme scheme. And before we proceed, I'm going to say that this is not sponsored by Masterclass or anything. This is me using their articles as a resource for this video. It's not sponsored or anything. I am just using them as a resource. So there's that. Now let's proceed. So the ABAB rhyme scheme in poetry. ABAB rhyme schemes are exemplified by Shakespearean sonnets. They say these poems feature the following elements. 1. They are 14 lines long. 2. The 14 lines are divided into 4 subgroups. 3. The first 3 subgroups have 4 lines each, which makes them quatrains. The first and third line rhymes, and the second and fourth line rhymes, which creates the ABAB rhyme scheme. Because each quatrain contains its unique set of rhymes, the rhyme scheme of a Shakespearean sonnet's first 12 lines is technically ABAB, CD, EF. So if we are going to talk about the Shakespearean sonnet, that is going to be the rhyme scheme that we are going to follow. Yes. Now next, the sonnet then concludes with a 2-line subgroup, and these 2 lines rhyme with each other. So I actually have an example with this. It's a poem that I wrote this morning. It is currently 1 in the afternoon here, and I wrote this. I dedicated this poem to a friend of mine it's her birthday today. I'm just going to share this because it's how I wrote this poem. And the only thing that does not make this a sonnet is the last two lines, because they do not rhyme with each other. But I do the three subgroups does rhyme with each other, creating the AB CD CD EF rhyme scheme. And I'm not going to read the poem here, but it is titled "To My Strength." I did tell you guys in my last video, I think I said this, but I plan on publishing a poetry collection early next year. I hope I get accepted after I submitted my manuscript. So if I do get accepted, it will be published if I get accepted. But that is the goal that I'm aiming for. But yeah, so I'm not going to read this out loud. And what was I trying to say anyway? But yeah, it's called "To My Strength," and I'm writing I'm writing poems that is called "To My Strength." So that's a nice little sneak peek to this collection. But yeah, let's proceed to the next rhyme scheme, which is the ABCB rhyme scheme. So simply put, the ABCB rhyme scheme is the first and third line does not rhyme, and the second and fourth line rhymes with each other. So that's the ABCB rhyme scheme. From the Masterclass article, they don't have an example of that, and it's just that, yeah, all they said was the first and third line does not rhyme, and the second and fourth line rhymes with each other. So that's that, and let's proceed to the next rhyme scheme. We have the AABBA rhyme scheme. A limerick exemplifies the AABBA rhyme scheme. All traditional limericks consist of a single stanza, consist of exactly 5 lines, employ one rhyme on the first, second, and fifth lines, and employ a second rhyme on the third and fourth lines. So, Edward Lear wrote many iconic limericks. Among the famous of this is the opening poem from A Book of Nonsense, his seminal collection first published in 1846. And it goes like this. There was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren, have all built their nests in my beard." So that is the AABBA rhyme scheme, and that was a great example. We have the rhymes on the first, second, and fifth lines, and we have another rhyme on the third and fourth lines. Okay, so going off topic here, if you haven't noticed, we have different looks here. I look different. That is because this is I have recorded this clip again because of one single mistake that really gets me. Okay, so please don't come at me. I am a perfectionist, and if I don't do it right, I just don't do it. So there was a mistake on my pronunciation, and I had to just record this clip again because I do not want to put a clip here while I am pronouncing something wrong, and I am such a perfectionist about my language, my pronunciation, and everything technical about a language. So I had to record this again. Please don't judge me. I just had to do this. So let us now proceed to the next clip. And proceeding to our next rhyme scheme is the AABB rhyme scheme, which is my most favorite rhyme scheme of all time. I'm just kidding. But it is my favorite out of all the rhyme schemes that I've mentioned so far. And it is also the most prominent rhyme scheme in all of my poems. And although I give myself some leeway and um, write free verse poetry or anything else, but mostly I use the AABB rhyme scheme. And all of my friends who have read my poetry, they all say the same thing, that I use the AABB rhyme scheme so many times that sometimes it tires them out, because all of my poems rhyme with each other all the time. And I mean, using the AABB rhyme scheme is not a bad thing. Using it all the time is not a bad thing, but it's just up to your preference. I prefer using it. I love using it, even though I do it in free verse sometimes. It's all up to you. So, the AABB rhyme scheme. The AABB rhyme scheme features a series of rhyming couplets where successive lines rhyme before giving way to another pair of rhyming lines. The early American poet Anne Bradstreet was a committed practitioner of this form. The opening lines of her 1678 poem To My Dear and Loving Husband read, "If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by if ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can." So, you can clearly see or hear the rhyme scheme there. The first and second line rhyming with each other, and the third and fourth line rhyming with each other. And I hope this camera is recording, because I'm tired of repeating this over and over again. And now, after we have discussed the different rhyme schemes, let us get on with the writing. Let's roll! Finished writing the poems with the 4 rhyme schemes, and I'm so excited because I didn't have too much hustle writing these poems. And also I'm so happy about this because lately I haven't been feeling like writing poems, or I haven't felt motivated writing poems, and there wasn't much ideas to write about, and I was too focused on Nasha and sending my copies to my friends, and I finally sent it out, and they're currently reading it, and I'm so excited to finally edit Nasha and go on to the next draft. And yes, so anyway, writing these poems wasn't much trouble, which is definitely a shocker to me. And I kind of like it, I kind of hate it. I don't know where I stand between that, but I'm just so glad that I finally wrote 4 poems without too much trouble. And here it goes. But before that, I'm only going to read you some lines from these poems because I am going to submit these poems, and I don't want to have troubles to any publisher that I'm going to submit, and they will say to me that I have already published these poems online or somewhere else, some platform. So, and that includes YouTube. So I'm being very cautious around here. So yeah, I hope you understand what I was saying, because I didn't understand it. I hope it was sensible and you understand it. Anyway, let's get on to the first poem. So the first poem is the ABAB rhyme scheme. I hope I said that right. Yeah, it's the ABAB rhyme scheme, and I'm going to read the first stanza of the poem. So it goes like this. It's a pity and a sin that I gave you my heart. If only you could tell me when you'll finally do your part. Yeah, that's the first line. I don't know if I read that nicely or if that sounded pleasing to your ear. I know the beats of the lines didn't match, but I can still edit it, and it's what I wrote for now, but I'm happy about it. I'm happy that I wrote something, and yeah, let's proceed to the next one. So this is for the ABCB rhyme scheme. I'm going to read the first 2 lines because it's only a stanza. So the first 2 lines are, I held you up like a torch, but you were drenched in water instead of oil. Okay, so these lines. The beats didn't match again, but I'm happy about these lines, and I don't know, I felt so witty writing that. I don't even know if that was witty or not. You can tell me if it was or not. But I love that line. Obviously, I'm still going to edit those lines, and it might not be included in the final draft, but for now, there's that. Okay, so let's proceed to the next poem, which is the AABBA rhyme scheme. So, the AABBA rhyme scheme goes like this. I'm going to read the first 2 lines only because it is only a stanza, so I'm not going to read everything. The first 2 lines go like this. It didn't start with a feud. We were stuck like we're glued. Okay, so for this line, I also love this line, and it's something. This poem is somewhat important to me because I'm talking about someone that is really important to me, is really special to me. So the first line really means a lot. So I don't know if it's going to be included in the final draft, but I love that line for now. So yeah, let's proceed. So the last poem is for the AABB rhyme scheme, and it goes like this. The first stanza, I'm only going to read the first stanza because I only wrote 2 stanzas. I didn't feel like writing more, and I felt like 2 stanzas fit really well with the poem, so I decided on that, and I'm going to read it now. So, here goes. I've gone what? I've climbed mountains without any gain. I've swum oceans, but for you, I'm still not chosen. So yeah, there's that, and I don't know what to think about that last poem actually, but I kind of like it. But I kind of not. I don't know where I stand in between that. But yeah, let me know about your thoughts in the comment down below, and you can give me feedback about the lines that I've read to you guys, or you can comment down lines from your own poems, and I will let you know what I think about them. We can exchange feedbacks from our poems and maybe chat a little bit in the comments. So yeah, that's it for this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!